I got a really great suggestion from someone who commented on a video I did recently dealing with office politics. This is a special shout out to Tristan Young, who asked for the following, and I want to read this to make sure I get it right because I'm going to just kind of do this extemporaneously. How do you have/develop good relationships at work? If someone is persecuting you, how do you handle it? What do you do when others gossip or slander you at work? Jesus both submitted and stood up for himself. How do we know which one to do? How do we know when to let it go or take a stand? So very much thank you, Tristan. I appreciate this great question. I'm going to answer it in just a minute. Hi, my name is Shawn Sommerkamp, and this is Motivationeer Christian Coaching. I post 2 videos a week, so please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can be reminded when I do. Please also consider becoming a member at Motivationeer.com. Your membership really supports this channel. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to keep his request up on the screen because he asked some great layers to it. What I want to start with is the idea of persecution. I am familiar with it somewhat because in my younger days, when I was in college full-time, after my Navy stint, I was leading a campus ministry at the University of Connecticut Storrs, the main campus. Go Huskies. While leading that group, somebody didn't like what I was doing. That they weren't part of our group, but they tried to be and then didn't want to be. So they wrote a handwritten letter and mailed it to all of the parents of the students that were part of that club because we were certified as a club. We were called the Upside Down Club. The letter to all the parents said that I was a cult leader and I was going to be stealing their kids away from them. The only reason why I knew the letter was written right away is because one of the people in the group received the letter. The person thought she was the parent of the child and got the letter and showed it to me. That's really the only major persecution I've received. At work, practically none. A little tiny bit at sea in the Navy, but I can't really say I know much about persecution at work. So Tristan, I don't know what you're specifically going through. I do know this, however, many times the difficulty we go through in dealing with another person at work, as I've said in dealing with office politics and another recent video, when personalities collide, it's because there's just differences in the way we behave, our core values, our personalities, our behavioral styles. Sometimes it's even our sin. I know this is what it was like for me. When I was an account manager at Johnson Controls and I would have to work with a lot of clients on the phone, I remember getting ticked off at them a lot. And then some of my colleagues didn't like that I was getting ticked off at them, and I kind of took a self-righteous stance there. I remember stumbling on the passage in Philippians 2:3, which says, "Consider others better than yourselves." And it instantly convicted me. So I took that passage, typed it out on a thin strip, printed it, and then taped it to the top of my display. So with just a quick glance of my eyes up from reading, I could read the passage to remind me constantly, consider them better than myself. Most of the time, the disagreements I have or people talking behind my back, what's the other thing that you said here? Slandering me, gossiping, it's because of a way I'm behaving. When I'm gentle and kind and loving and supportive and serving of them, they tend not to think of me like that. Now, again, I don't know your specific situation. You may have someone who's just outright malevolent who works with you. And this is when you know whether to take a stand. If their behavior is interrupting your work output or their work output, it does need to come to a stop. We don't want to necessarily bring it to a stop just because our feelings are hurt, but if it's interrupting productivity, it's now affecting the business. And we don't really want that to go on. If you owned that business and you were kind of witnessing some type of dynamic where there's subtle persecution or gossip or slander happening between a few employees, you know that would affect the output, the profitability of your business, so you would bring it to a stop. We can think of it the same way. We want to be careful not to let our feelings get involved here, but just look at it as a business decision. Are they losing productivity or interrupting it or slowing things down? or maybe even ruining our reputation with another client. I've seen situations, this didn't happen to me, but where somebody was complaining about a co-employee to one of their customers, and it painted our company in a bad light. So we really do want to take a stand when it's affecting the business. Of course, if there's something criminal going on, yeah, please go ahead and take a stand there. And if you're not completely sure, then go humbly, gently, respectively, and speak with HR. I personally choose to do the HR route before going to my manager. And then as soon as the HR meeting is over, I go tell my manager, hey, just wanted you to know, I don't want anybody to get in trouble. There's someone I'm having a little bit of concerns with. I've talked to HR about it. I don't think there's anything that's going to happen, but I just wanted some advice from them. And boss, I wanted you to know. She'll be very grateful that you've done that. And HR is going to tell her anyways. I promise you, they're not going to keep that back from your boss, even if they promise you that they won't. So yes, as Tristan stated, we know that Jesus sometimes submitted himself to the crowd, like when he hung on the cross and prayed to God that he would forgive them for they didn't know what he was doing. There were other times that he stood up for himself. As was mentioned, one of them was when they tried to forcibly throw him off the cliff, when he was, unrolled the scroll in the temple and read Isaiah, and they were like, wow, he's so wise. And then he says, today this scripture has, been fulfilled. And they're like, man, he's amazing. And then he says, Elijah was sent to a Samaritan woman and not to you because Jews wouldn't have been able to handle it. And they're like, kill him. He didn't let them kill him at that moment. His time had not yet come. So we can't predict the future. We don't know what's supposed to happen, but I think a really great way to start with this is consider them better than ourselves. Try to respond with humility, with grace, with dignity, with self-respect, and respecting them. Let's not retaliate. And if we're being sinful and prideful, maybe we're the one that's generating it. And then eventually, if it does interrupt business flow, work output, performance, profitability, some of those big metrics, it is time to take it to HR and let your boss know. I hope this helps, Tristan. Thanks again for the great question. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for 2 new videos each week. Tell me in the comments below about your career situation, and I'll make a video for you with a shout out. You can also become a member at Motivationeer.com. Your career is not just a way to make a living, it's a way to transform the world.